friends, thanks for joining me today. This is a project that I have been commissioned to do for a student that is graduating from high school. So I decided to go with a graduation / steampunk theme. So as we flip through this book, you'll see elements of both. I have used some vintage papers inside, and as I usually do, I have mixed them with new papers as well. The first thing I'd like to show you on this book is the cover, which I think came out really, really cool. I wrote this name by hand, and I'm super proud of how that turned out. So there's the front, here's the spine. I just used some nice fabric for that. In this book, I used a steampunk pack and a graduation pack. Throughout this book, I have also used old papers. This envelope is at least 30 to 40 years old. I slid the envelope onto the page so that I would have a pocket on both sides. I used tucks. This is new material, and I was able to use my new tool that I got to make these, I guess, what we call brads. And I have a mix of new and old papers throughout the book. Since it's a student that I'm sure has never ever seen a junk journal, I wanted to mix both so that it wouldn't be too surprising or unusual. But I do have many coffee dyed papers throughout also. Here I created a small book out of coffee dyed papers. And on the edges you'll see, you'll see this interesting pattern. I did that with actual stencil brush, but not with a stencil, and I just used a cream colored paint and then a metallic paint to create that old worn look. A lot of people use stamps. I don't happen to have any in my collection yet, so I couldn't. Now this is an old book page that I had tea dyed, and then I spritzed it with a silver metallic paint. Here are two items that I created during one of my Craft Your Scraps videos, and they could be journaled on the back. And I actually created this little pocket right here out of an envelope and I showed how to do that during one of my Craft Your Scraps videos as well. Here we just have a pocket with a variety of papers. This one is spritzed with a watered down rose gold paint. And here's another book page that I spritzed with metallic paint. This pocket is made out of a very old piece of office paper that I received, and I did a video on the bulk vintage paper. See, again, here's this worn all the way around, and I did that with that stencil brush, but not using a stencil, and just with different paints. I love the way it turned out. Another very old envelope that I tea dyed or coffee dyed. Steampunk die cut here. Vintage paper. This is a pocket, and I might do this in every single one of my books. I'm calling it either a surprise pocket or a junk pocket or something like that. And it's a pocket just stuffed with a variety of items. And I have a feather and a piece of scrap paper. What for? Don't know, doesn't matter. That's the whole point of the pocket. It's like a surprise pocket. These are cards that I got at the thrift store. I didn't really like them, but it goes so perfectly in this book, so I threw that in there. And then I put in a page of tea-dyed, it's just a book page, and I stuffed that in there, and then 2 pieces of scrap tea-dyed paper. You know, I think I want to be creative and do this in each of my books and just put lots of, you know, fun things, whatever's hanging around. I could have a piece of scrap ribbon, you know, could pretty much put anything in here. So, and I love that it's in this big giant window envelope. That's probably my favorite part about the whole thing, is that we can see what's in there, and it's kind of cool. So I used this is the same window envelope folded over the page, and the way I folded it, I was able to get 2 pockets out of 1 window envelope. So I think that's kind of cool. So I have a small pocket here and of course a larger pocket there. And you'll see that throughout this book in a couple of different places. Another very old envelope here. Old calendar from 2010. A couple of pieces of paper. An old book page that was spritzed with rose gold. This page is just adhered to the other page, so you would just write on it. It doesn't open or anything like that. Just write directly onto it. Oops. This is an old piece of construction paper, and I tea dyed that. Maybe coffee, can't remember. This is blank, and I thought the recipient could, you know, they could paste a picture or something if they wanted to. This pocket was created out of a book page. And here's the other side of it. So we got 2 pockets from 1 book page, which is pretty neat. There's lots of journaling places in this book, but also there's lots of space that the recipient could add their own papers. There's plenty of room for that. Another book page pocket. I really enjoyed using those in this book. I thought it went really well. Again, now with this book page, it was actually 2 pages that were still together, that I had taken out of a book. So the way I folded it, again, I was able to get 2 pockets, a small one and a big one. So I really like that. I'm excited that I discovered that. I don't know if you can tell, but on this page there's a little bit of a, let me see if I can zoom in on it, a little bit of a grate look here. And I actually have a table out front that I dry my papers on, and it is a cast iron grated table, and it put the pattern on it, so I thought that was pretty neat. This envelope is from the 1980s. There's a stamp on it right here. It says December 8th, 1981. So that's pretty cool. Again, the way I folded it, I got 2 pockets, the small one and the bigger one. This is an old bank statement from the 1980s. Another plain page that the recipient can add something to if they'd like. This too is an old bank statement, and again, the way I folded it, I got 2 pockets out of it. So, and I put lots of papers in this one. So, actually, let me show you. So this is also an old bank statement, and then this is one with the similar look, and I folded it and used it for pockets. Craft your scraps item. Most of us have gears we never use. I try to use all my gears, but it is a true statement. Well, there it is, friends. I hope you enjoyed flipping through this book with me. Thanks for watching. See you soon.